more now to Robert's point on President Trump last night at Mar-a-Lago really kind of starting all of this, blaming Ukraine rather than Russia for the war after hearing complaints Ukraine was not invited to peace talks. Take a look.
I think I have the power to end this war, and I think it's going very well. But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it.
Should have never started it. That's the part. Mercedes Schlapp joins us now, senior fellow at the Conservative Political Action Conference, which kicks off in Maryland, CPAC, and also a former Trump White House Strategic Communications Director. On point, welcome, Mercedes. Good to see you again.
Great to see you too.
I do want to start with Ukraine, then we'll get into CPAC. It's all kind of related in one way, shape, or form, right? And we approach these stories at NewsNation anyway. We're trying to tell all sides of a story. I will say right up front on this one, I'm having trouble finding another side. That, you have Russia is an adversary, Ukraine is an ally. Russia invaded Ukraine, but the President of the United States appears to be blaming an ally for an invasion by an adversary. What's going on here?
Let me tell you, I got to say, I think for President Trump, his goal is going to be to try to end this war and bring the two parties to basically to some sort of peace agreement. I think that's really what the fundamental situation is. We know Putin has been afraid of Donald Trump. I mean, he's been tough on Russia when it's come to sanctions against Russian officials, Russian institutions. I think it sounds to me like the president is a bit frustrated that they have not been able to end this war. When you're talking about the fact that the United States, in 5 separate bills in Congress, they've sent over $175 billion to Ukraine. I spoke to a top Ukrainian official not long ago where they said, oh, yes, we're going to have this war done by the end of 2024. But they were very, I should say, cocky about knowing that they were going to continue to receive funding from the U.S.
So we can debate, you can debate kind of how you want to end a war, right? But the idea of who started the war doesn't seem to be in any debate. I'll put up the tweet from former Vice President Pence today saying, Mr. President, Ukraine did not start this war. Russia launched an unprovoked and brutal invasion, claiming hundreds of thousands of lives, and the road to peace must be built on the truth. That last line, there's something to that, right? If you're trying to negotiate, you have to at least be telling the truth. I mean, there's no debate about who started the war, or there shouldn't be.
Yeah, look, Russia started the war. Right. I think, quite frankly, President Trump is not listening to Mike Pence, as we know. So I think there is a reality that at this point, Ukraine and Zelensky, they need to think through about making sure that they allow for elections. We know there hasn't been elections in Ukraine since 2019. And I think for the president, it really is about pushing these two parties to finally end this war. We saw with the previous administration under Joe Biden that nothing got done, that it was just a prolonged situation with the war where you've seen thousands of Ukrainian soldiers, innocent people die in this war. It's senseless. It needs to end. And I think they all need to recognize that there's going to have to be room for negotiation on both sides to get to the right place.
Is that what? Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.